and welcome to another episode of Lex Education, the comedy science podcast where me, comedian Laura Lex, tries to learn science from her stupid, nerdy, scientific child brother, Ron.
Hi, I'm Ron.
No, it's hello, I'm Ron.
Hello, I'm Ron.
I hate your shirking of catchphrases.
I'm fluid. I'm a catchphrase shark. I never stop moving.
Then they're not catchphrases.
No, they're just phrases.
It's just talking. How are you, Ron?
I'm okay. I'm a little bit ill, but I think I'm out the other side of it. And I'm just so busy that it's like, like, you know, when you're ill, but then taking a day off work would just be so much worse for you than just pushing through it. I've had just like 3 of those in a row.
Boo. But it's the weekend tomorrow for you, not for listeners, but for you.
Yeah.
Woohoo! It's a strange day today. We're recording this little intro on the Friday, so the weird Tory budget has just been announced. It's just like weird. And it's also like pouring with rain here, like a pathetic fallacy of the miserable life we have to come. But hey, let's set that to one side right now, because it's not an economics podcast, is it, Ronkadonk?
No.
We'd hate that. It's
Maybe that's season
podcast.
2.
Ugh, can you imagine? Fuck off.
We might need it, because at this point, we're probably not that far off next in line for Chancellor, so...
That's true.
Like, have you seen the average length of tenure in senior government for the current cabinet?
No.
The average length is less than 5 years.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Like, I've almost been in my current job for 3 years.
And you're
like,
a baby.
Yeah, I'm an little baby.
You're a little baby. She's
What's
a
that from?
baby. That is from us watching that show on Netflix. What was that show? The driving one.
Oh,
With
Hyperdrive.
Charlize Theron.
Yes.
Hyperdrive, that's it. And there was the
Little
baby. So Hyperdrive is a show on Netflix. It's very good. There was only one season, and we keep waiting for them to make more, and they're not.
And I was quoting Buster from Arrested Development when I first said that. Because he at one point goes, I heard there's going to be a little baby.
And then that got melded into, it was like, they set it up that, you know, there's all these adult drivers, the best drag racers or drift racers or whatever they are in the world. And then there was just a tiny wickle baby.
And then Charlize Theron flies out to South Africa to do a moving interview and piece where she like learns about her life and stuff. That ends. Charlize is gone. Ickle Baby flies to America, and then the car gets there, and then you find out that her dad had to sell his van that he needs for his livelihood to pay to ship her car there. And it's just like, Charlize was just there.
Yeah.
She, like, for 1 second that she appears in these J'adore adverts, she could have just paid for that.
Yeah. And then we won't tell you what happens to Wickle Baby. Maybe she wins, maybe she doesn't. What type of drive
she
and
eats shit
find
so quickly.
Run! Spoilers! Anyway, thank you, Neil, for giving me my proudest moment since this podcast started, for saying how much you like the bus seat analogy for electrons. It's the happiest I have felt for making a useful analogy for something. So thank you very much, Neil.
Was your best one.
Yeah.
It made sense.
I am a professor now. Apologies for the sound on last week's episode. We're very sorry about that. That's my fault, the drop in sound. I know how annoying it is to try and listen to a podcast when you're driving or something and you can't quite pick it up. We are doing our best. We literally...
Yeah, fuck off.
No, they weren't complaining. They were letting us know, you idiot. Stop being contrary. It's really helpful when you let us know. Like when I think it was Kay let us know a couple of weeks ago about a silence in the podcast, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember who tweeted and said that there was the drop in.
Matthew?
Somebody, wasn't it? Somebody lovely. We literally make this podcast all on our own. We record it shoddily through the internet. I edit the even-numbered ones. Ron edits the odd-numbered ones. We don't know what we're doing. We've got no funding. So thank you for bearing with us through the shambolic episodes, and we're learning as we go.
Yeah, get off our backs.
Ron, they're not being horrible. They're trying to help us make a podcast. You surly little boy. So hopefully there's no more. Having said that, we hope there's not a problem with the sound quality in this week's episode. There is a problem with the apathy quality in that it's high, because Ron cares only marginally more about today's subject than I do.
Yeah, and the caring is matched by my sort of understanding.
Yeah, so we're doing electricity today. It's not Ron's fave. It's not Laura's fave. Hey, we did our best.
Yeah. Slight correction from me. At one point I say Voltaire, I meant Volta. I also said he was French, he was Italian. But Voltaire was French, but Volta is Italian.
Ron's a naughty boy.
Just play the episode. That's enough.
Let's go. Hello, Ronnie Honks. Can you hear that pigeon?
No.
Oh,
No,
that's
I can't.
good. I've got bird feeders right, and birds are coming to them, which is very lovely. And I'm trying to train Mackie to bark at the pigeons, but not the sparrows, because I don't know if you remember the pigeon incident when I lived in the flat, but I really don't want a repeat of the pigeons.
You mean when you had pigeons' quarters?
Yeah. So I used to live in a flat with a tiny balcony, and some pigeons landed. And now, disclaimer, this was a part of my life where I was very sad about not conceiving biological children. And some pigeons started to live on my balcony and have their own biological children. And I got more attached to these pigeons than you should reasonably do. And then they took over the balcony to the point where the neighbours complained, and a man from the building came round and told me off about the pigeons. And I may or may not have referred to them as my pigeons, which made him wonder if I was breeding pigeons. So I want to have bird feeders because I want to help out the wild bird population, but I don't really want to get overrun with pigeons again. But Mackie hates them. She was having a right stare out with one yesterday.
You want her to scare away the pigeons because you're worried about getting too attached to them.
Yeah.
But just the pigeons. The sparrows are not,
Well, because I don't think sparrows are going to... like, the sparrows already nest, but they're so nervous, Like, they are hanging around and having babies, but I don't really see where the nests are. They're under the eaves somewhere or something.
Right.
They're very flighty, whereas I know from experience that pigeons will get used to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've completely captured the tragedy of that situation to the listener, but I mean, even calling what you had a balcony is quite generous. It was more of a glorified outdoor shelf.
The worst day. It was the day that the guy from the building came round because the neighbours had complained about the pigeons, and I had my older sister, not the sister that was here in a previous episode with producer nephew, but older sister with older nephews. And we'd been to Oaxaca, and they had some cod tacos that had not gone down well with them. So this bloke knocks on the door and is like, "Hi, we've heard about the pigeons." And I'm like, "My pigeons?" And he's like, Are you keeping pigeons? And I'm like, "Oh, no. These are just wild pigeons that happen to anyway, what do you..." And he's like, Can I see these pigeons? So then I lead him through the flat, which is tiny. And from his perspective, this flat is being inhabited by 4 adults and 2 children and smells overwhelmingly like vomited cod tacos because there's cod taco vomit everywhere. And then we go through the kitchen, and then the balcony is like a tribute to bird shit because pigeons don't nest. Pigeons just shit in a ring and then lay their eggs in the middle of that ring. I didn't know this, but in case you're ever wondering. And so they put up pigeon nets, but then the pigeons managed to get behind the pigeon nets. So then we just had a situation where we'd entrapped the pigeons in the balcony rather than keeping them on the outside. And I'm sort of a bit nervous around birds. I don't like them when they flap. So I had to get Tom to come and release the pigeon. So Tom manages to grab this pigeon. He's like some sort of pigeon whisperer. He walks up to it and treats it like a chicken, where if you just grab it and hold its wings into it, it stays quite calm. And then he posted the pigeon through a hole in the balcony where the drain comes down, and we were like, right, it's free now. But what we didn't realise was that the downstairs neighbours had also had pigeon nets installed, so we just posted the pigeon through to their balcony, and it was now trapped behind their pigeon net. So long story short, I'm training the dog to bark at pigeons now. Wasn't good, Ron.
No. It's just the fact that you're training the dog to bark at pigeons so that you don't form some mother pigeon bond with them. Not because pigeons are basically pests that you don't want around.
No, I'm too soft-hearted. I just love things.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of things I love, what science are we doing today, Ronnie Hunks?
Well, I think we're both stalling because we know it's a physics.
Oh, is it?
It is a physics, and hands in the air. This is the first lesson that we've done where I've been reading it, and I'm just like, I can't even remember doing this.
Oh, well, let's not do it then, mate. Let's sack it off. If you don't know it and like it, and I doubt I will, why don't we just skip this one?
Well, I mean, the lovely Dan and Suji at Podspike have said have told everyone that fans of Taskmaster will like our podcast. So I think in the spirit of muddling through, let's get through the syllabus, and we'll get through it together. I just may not be able to answer the horrible minutia-based questions that you'll throw at me.
Maybe I'll really understand this and you can ask me some questions.
That would be a fucking dream. What do you know about electricity, Laura?
I know it recently got a lot more expensive in the UK.
Hey-o, evergreen content, that.
Yep. I know if you wear rubber shoes, it can't hurt you if you climb a pylon.
Not sure that's true. let's put out a disclaimer on that before.
No, I feel confident. Off you go, kids.
Up the pylons with you.
Pylons were a big part of my childhood, like daring. You know that big pylon round the back of the house by the BMX track?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were always daring each other to climb that fence and go and touch it. I doubt anything would have happened, would it? They put the electricity up high.
I was always just bringing my townie friends from Troll round, and then we'd be up in the fields and be like, you hear that noise? That's the pylon.
Yeah, we lived... Maybe that's why we're so weird. We just grew up underneath a pylon. It was
Several
really
pylons.
close to the house.
Oh, yeah.
Like, super close. I know balloons can give you static electricity, so I assume from the word static that most electricity is moving. Current, that makes sense, actually, if you think about it. And some of it's still...
Yeah, I think there's essentially two types of electricity, static and then like circuit electricity, which is what we deal with most of the time. So static electricity is just a build-up of electrons in one place, a la when you rub a balloon on your woolly jumper or something. Essentially, what's happening is all of the electrons are going to the balloon or to the jumper, probably the balloon. And then that's what gives it the charge that attracts your hair and stuff.
Got okay.
And then static electricity.
So even my hair has a charge?
So electrical charge, that's just a fundamental property of matter. So this is the charge that we're talking about when we say electrons are negative and protons are positive.
When you say matter, what do you mean stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you basically...
But you just threw out a sentence there, like, that's just a fundamental property of matter. And then you carry on talking, and I'm there going, right, okay, I know fundamental. Right, property, that means, like, a thing it does. Matter is stuff. So that is a rule about everything stuff does.
Yeah, but like a physical stuff, so doesn't necessarily apply to energy.
I don't really believe in things that aren't physical.
Okay.
Like, here's the thing. I don't really understand what fire is, and I don't know if I believe in fire because I don't really understand what it is.
Fire is just like a chemical reaction you can see.
Yeah, but what's a reaction? What is it? Physically, what is it?
So let's take a gas flame. So when you see like a gas flame coming out of your hob, that is just where the oxygen and the methane gas that will come out of your hob are reacting together because of the heat of the fire, and then they are producing light and heat as a part of that reaction.
Yeah, so I'm right. Fire isn't a thing then.
Well, the fire is just you seeing the light and heat, so it's kind of like it's just the excess energy coming out of that reaction.
There's no such thing as fire.
Are we breaking up? Can you not hear me?
I can, and I'm understanding what you said, Ron. You said that it isn't a thing. It's chemicals, not fire.
What do you mean by a thing?
Like
I feel like
fire isn't. There
are no fire atoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But that's fine. That doesn't mean it's not a thing.
It does, though, kind of, doesn't it? Because if you were making a list of all the things that exist, fire isn't in that list.
No, but neither is Laura. Like, there are no Laura atoms.
Because I'm here.
Yeah, but you can see fire, and you touch fire, and it hurts. Ow.
But fire doesn't have DNA.
No, but
You can touch me and
neither
it'll
does a
hurt.
small wooden zebra, but that could quite feasibly exist.
But you can see that. No, I'm right.
But you can see fire.
Yeah. But
All right,
can I?
but
Because I can also
let's-
see through it.
Yeah, but you can see through glass, and you're not arguing that doesn't exist.
I am. Glass doesn't exist either.
Okay, now we're really straying into the worrying. What?
Glass is like sand and probably other atoms. Hey, wait a minute. What atoms is sand? More biochemical moleculars.
But do you not think sand exists? What's happening?
Sand. But you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
some-
yeah, but what you said was glass doesn't exist because it's sand.
Yeah, but there's no glass atoms. Now that I'm learning to
There's
understand...
no sand atoms. Glass is made of silicon, I think.
Silicon?
I think so. I think silicon dioxide or something is
I
the...
thought silicon was man-made.
No.
Oh.
Silicon's an element.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Silicon is the next one down from carbon. So silicon can also form four bonds with things, which is why it's quite a useful material.
Is that why fake boobs always look so weird? Because they're
Because
so
they
firm.
can form four bonds.
Yeah, so they're too structured. Not like natural titties that are all like blah, 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 not enough bonds.
Could be. Wow, that really derailed us. So, how did we start talking about that? So,
Fire isn't real.
okay,
Balloons. The notes I've made are static is a build-up of electron circuit. I haven't written anything.
yes, because we haven't gone on. Okay, so we'll pick up from there. So, circuit electricity is the flow of electrons around a circuit.
Let your love flow
And then by
like a mountain spring. I'll let your love find you all living things. Flow of electrons. So electricity is electrons. That makes sense. Elect.
yeah, so it's the flow of electrons around a circuit. The best analogy for picturing what a circuit is like is to think about the electrons as like water in a pipe, and the circuit as being like a series of pipes, right? Because when you have a power source, consider a battery.
Consider the battery.
The humble battery. Consider a battery. the electrons are not coming from that battery, right? When you plug that into the circuit, it's not electrons flowing out of the negative end of the battery and going round, because the electrons are already in the wire. What the battery does, it acts like a pump, and it just starts moving them around the circuit. Okay?
Okay, so battery is a pump.
Battery's
what
a
powers
pump.
the pump?
So don't worry about that.
The sun. I'll just write down the sun.
Fire.
The sun is the root of everything.
Batteries are made out of layers of positive and negative things, and that does something.
Oh, like broccoli, cheese.
Have you ever? You might have made a
My
salt pile when you were at school.
A salt pile?
I think that's what they call it. And because what you need metals that have different reactivity, and then you put them in like an ionic solution. So you can use just like brine, as in like salt.
I didn't do that.
And then you can create like a really simple battery.
Don't remember doing that.
But
I remember sticking some metal in a potato. A potato clock. A potato clock. Oh, where can I find a potato clock?
But yeah, don't worry about the battery. That doesn't matter.
Okay, so a battery is a pump,
Yep, or...
and then it's pumping electrons. So where were the electrons from if they're not in the battery?
So, they were in the wire already.
They were there all along.
So do you...
You never considered the electrons were already in the room. It's like an episode of Jonathan Creek.
It is. Do you remember metallic bonds from our last episode?
Yes, but why don't you re-explain it for the listener who has probably forgotten?
Yes. So you and I know, of course, that a metallic bond is where you have all of the metal atoms together, and then the outer layer of the metal atoms' electrons dissociate, and then they share them, and they all kind of float around willy-nilly amongst the metal
yeah,
atoms.
they're socialists, aren't they, in a mosh pit because they're metallic.
Exactly.
Exit light.
So that is...
Back to Never Neverland.
So it's these electrons...
You know what I'm doing?
Metal music is one of my huge blind spots.
So it's being fun. Oh! Damn, son! You got.
That was rude. That was hurtful.
I've stopped listening because I was trying to remember the words to Metallica songs. Pumping the electrons round. Oh yeah, okay. So there's all those free form electrons in metal,
Yep.
and then you switch the battery on, and the layers of sad and happy stuff pumps. Those electrons start moving round the metal,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
carrying their charge.
Exactly, yes. Right. So, right. You will have heard of current, a thing that is talked about with electricity. You may have heard of volts.
Current. I have heard of volts. There's a railway on Brighton seafront, you know, where you used to live before you cruelly moved away. And that's called the Volks Railway. And I reckon that's probably actually something different now I'm saying it out loud.
Well, yeah, because it's a
spelt with
different
K.
word.
Yeah. Similar though, isn't it?
Well, Volks, spelt like that, is German for, like, peoples, like folks.
Oh, then it's
like
nothing
Volks.
to do with that.
Volkswagen, people's car.
Oh, I've sunburned my shoulder.
Ugh.
Don't say ugh. Say poor you.
Poor, ugh. Yeah, so current, that's measured in amps. You may have heard of amps.
Current amps. Like an amp, like in music.
No.
Oh.
That's short for amplifier. Amps in this case is short for Ampere, who was some French bloke that...
Ampere!
Yes.
Hello, my name is Ampere and I love electricity.
Very good. Volts is the unit for something called potential difference.
Potential difference.
This kind of defines the energy difference between the beginning and the start. No, those are the same. The beginning and the end.
Aha, you
of
were the idiot
circuit.
for a second there.
So
What?
So it's the potential difference of energy states between the beginning and the end of the circuit that the electrons could go on. So the higher this is, the more oomph the circuit's going to have as the electrons go around it. So to go back to our water analogy, water obviously flows downhill, yes?
I'll let your love blow.
You can't do that every time I say the word flow.
Sail away, sail away, sail away.
You understand?
Orinoco Flow.
No, that's Enya.
Yeah, the song's called Orinoco Flow.
It's called Sail Away.
I think it's called Orinoco Flow.
Let's not
Let's
even
Google it. We should check
Give
for the
a
listener.
fuck.
I don't want anybody to get upset. Orinoco Flow.
I'm not going to watch it. For the listener, Laura's just sent me a YouTube link. I'm not going to listen to you.
This is a weird music video. Sail away. Okay, I got to the chorus and I was absolutely right. Well done, little Laura. Ding. I'm going to put the... No, you're editing this one. Put the ding noise in there, please, when I'm right. You will.
Progressively, as we go through, I put in fewer and fewer sound effects. So it can't be fucked.
You're a beast.
Right. Do you agree that water flows downhill, or is that an alien fucking concept to you, like fire or glass?
Don't say it like that. What was the question? Water flows downhill? I believe you.
Yes.
I don't necessarily believe that water is a thing.
You don't think that? No, let's not get into
Hydrogen
that.
and
You agree that water?
oxygen.
Yes. But you agree that it flows downhill.
It can
We're
flow
not going to have to
downhill.
have. We're not going to have a scrap
Nope.
about that. Okay, cool. So basically, let's picture our electricity as water again. So potential difference, you could imagine that as being like the top of the water pipe. So the higher it is, the more potential energy that water has, and then as it flows down the slide or the pipes or whatever, goes through the circuit in electricity, you see it loses its potential energy and it gets back to the bottom, and then let's say we've got a pump that takes the water back up to the top. That is like our battery that then brings the electrons back to the other side of the potential difference.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Alright. And the battery is there. So that's the volts.
That's, yes,
So
volts.
how do you get them so high at the top? How do you make them big at the top?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, so we've got current measured in amps.
What was that
we have
one
potential
again?
difference.
How fast they're moving?
Current. Yeah, literally the flow of charge. So current, the current is equal to
4 grapes.
how much charge has flowed down the wire divided by the amount of time it took to do that, and then that's how you get the number of amps.
Okay.
Charge is measured in coulombs.
So if you only had one electron
Yep.
and it went really fast,
Yep.
it would be the
You have a
same
high
amount
current.
of current as if you had 2 electrons going half as fast.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done.
Fucking scientist, bitch.
Okay. So
Dribbled.
So we have so we've got the current and we've got the potential difference. The other thing that we need to think about when we are talking about electricity is the resistance of the circuit.
They are hiding underground and asking for the electricity not to be there.
Amperes.
Listen very carefully. I shall say this only once.
Volts named after, I think, another Frenchman called Voltaire.
You could be clever as Voltaire, but you won't get you nowhere if you want to sell discs. What's that, Ron?
Is that from Hamilton?
No, it's Tim Minchin, you idiot.
Oh, sorry. My guess with you when you're singing is usually
we'll
just
keep
a
writing
guess.
songs that no one's heard about. Yeah.
Anywho, so we've got resistance that is measured in ohms.
Oh my god.
I don't know who ohms are.
Sherlock Holmes.
No, he was German.
Resistance is ohms. Ohms, I'm telling. So is that like barriers on the slide?
Yeah, so it basically anything has a resistance. Good conductors, things that we make wires out of, copper, nickel.
Does copper have loads of free electrons then? Does copper have loads of electrons? Is that why it's a good conductor?
Doesn't matter.
There's going to be so much for people to write into and answer today.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to our little bag of letters on the answers to all these questions.
Doesn't matter.
Ron hates electricity.
You know what? I was just doing the research for this, and I really did realise how little I know about electricity, because I've kind of gotten all of this. I did a bit of reading, and I think I've worked it out and stuff. But then, in the back of my head, the whole time, I was just going like, but what about alternating current? None of this makes any sense when you consider alternating current.
I don't even know what that is. Is that like... that's AC/DC, isn't it? Direct current, alternating current.
Exactly, yeah. So like when you just have a battery, that's just direct current. Electrons just flowing around. But what comes out the walls is like going backwards and forwards like 100 times a second or something.
Oh, let's pretend that doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
I think anything that's too difficult... Bye.
Yeah. So, I mean, tweet us, educate us, but...
No. Tweet Ron, educate Ron, leave Laura alone. Do not tell Laura about anything that is not essential. Segway!
Right, so we have another formula to remember.
Oh, I hate formulas.
But no, it's just three things, this one. So the voltage is equal to...
Voltage.
Yeah, the voltage...
Pause then, which made me think I should be writing that down.
Potentially. That's up to you. How about you write this one down, don't write the next one down, and then we'll see how you do in the quiz on each of them.
Voltage equals...
Current multiplied by the resistance.
The current... multiplied. Well, that feels illogical.
Why is that?
Which one was the current again? The
The flow.
The current is the flow.
Yes.
Okay, so the potential difference equals the flow times by the amount it stopped.
Yeah.
Nah, that makes no sense.
Well, it does, because... So, the voltage of a circuit isn't, that depends on what you plugged it into. So, if you plug it into the wall in rainy old Britain, it's going to be 240 classic British volts. Excellent. If you plug it into the wall in America, I think only about 110, 120 volts. Shit. If you put it in a battery, 9 volts, maybe even 12. All nice stuff. Not going to change, right? Because after you've plugged it in... You understand? It's going to be whatever you plug it into.
Where is the circuit then? Is the circuit in the wall or in the item that we're
Both.
plugging in?
Both.
So the steep bit is in the plug.
The pump is in the plug.
But you said that the potential difference, which was the volts, which was the slide.
Yep. No. The potential difference is the height difference between the bottom and the top. And then the pump gets the water from the bottom to the top.
Yeah. So if the volts is determined, like my lamp, for example, that
It's plugged into the wall.
And
Yeah.
the wall's got the slide in it.
The wall's got the pump in it.
But it must have the slide in it too, if the wall is what...
No, the lamp is the
Determines-
slide.
But then how does the lamp know what the voltage of the plug is?
Because the lamp has been designed to deal with British voltage. 240 volts. They didn't make it and then go, yeah, sell that. I reckon that'll be fine. Some people sat around.
No. Shut up. But then, so what do you mean that the electricity coming out of the wall is also 240 volt? If the lamp's got the slide in it...
Yeah. And then the lamp's got the slide in it. The slide is full of water.
Yeah.
The wall essentially acts as the pump and gives it the potential difference, so then the water starts flowing around the lamp.
So, does the pump have a level of power?
It's not important.
I'm going to stop asking questions.
Well, the thing is, Laura, the electricity that comes out of the wall is AC, so might as well be fucking magic as far as we're concerned. So let's go back to batteries.
Maybe we need to get like a supervising teacher in for some of these when we get right out into the wilds. This feels like it's PhD stuff, man.
Yeah, so the voltage doesn't change is essentially what I'm saying. You get that. Every time that you plug something into the wall, it's 240 volts.
Unless you plug in a different lamp.
No.
Yeah, because you said the lamp had the slide in it.
So
if I plug in a lamp with a steeper slide, something else will come out the wall.
no.
Why?
Because the potential difference, what is coming out of the wall...
But you
is
said that
what-
the potential difference was done by the lamp.
Okay, but imagine the slide is on, like, winchy, like a winchy up and down kind of system. So, depending on the potential difference, the slide could be a different height. Like, like a cherry picker or something. It's going to be the same.
Right, voltage is always 240.
When you plug into the wall.
No, I'm just going to
Batteries, no, because then we wouldn't call it voltage, then we'd call it 240.
Volts are always 240.
No, don't write that down.
But that's what you've said.
No, every time you plug into the wall in the UK, it's 240 volts. Okay?
I don't know what to do with this information because I don't understand where the slide is. I don't understand what the volts are doing. I don't even fully understand what's happening in the wall because you said all the electrons are already in the lamp.
Yeah, but remember, I also said that the electrons don't come from the battery or they don't come from the wall. They're already in there. It just gives them the power to move around.
So I don't think the slide has anything to do with it, does it?
No,
It's all
that's
about
just
the
a
pump.
metaphor for potential difference. There isn't actually a slide, believe it or not.
I'm going backwards here. Right, great. That all sounds lovely. I've learned that now.
I'm only a third of the way through explaining what I'm trying to explain
I
here.
can't do 2 times more of that.
Shut up. So, What?
I've got an old knife block next to me, and I just stuck my pen to it.
Mm. Okay. So the voltage, when you've got a circuit, the voltage is going to stay the same. Okay.
240.
Yeah. That's not going to change. Or you might put like an AA battery. That's 9 volts. Then we've got the current and the resistance, right?
Mais oui.
The more resistance, because the voltage stays the same, depending on what you plug into that voltage, depending on the resistance, that then defines the current. The current is the bit that is going to be variable in this equation, right?
Okay.
Why are you being weird and still?
Because, Ron, I've largely had to jettison any belief that any of this is going to make sense or be proper information. So, but I also can't ask questions because you say it doesn't matter. So I think my only other option is to look you in the eye and tell you I understand, and then hope that you don't ask me to explain it back to you ever again.
Well, you see the equation that we've got.
Yes. 240 equals current times resistance.
The voltage isn't going to change.
Nope.
Okay. Resistance is defined by the things that are in the circuit. So if you just had a circuit that was just a copper wire going round in a circle, very, very low resistance, right? However, then if you start putting a light bulb or an LED in that circuit, or maybe even a buzzer that goes like woo, or something like that, all of these things are going to start introducing resistance to the circuit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the voltage will stay the same. So what will happen when we add in the buzzer that goes woo, or the light bulb?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was a question. What's going to happen?
They'll go woo or light up.
No, look at the equation.
Yeah?
Yeah. Voltage is staying the same. Voltage stays the same. The resistance is increasing. So what is going to happen?
So is the current going to increase as well?
No, because if the resistance increased and the current increased, you see they're getting multiplied together to make the voltage.
Yeah.
So if they both increased, the voltage is going to go up. But that doesn't happen.
That doesn't ever.
No, because the voltage stays the same. So if the resistance increases,
That's bad.
what's going to happen?
The current... Yeah?
Go on. You've said one of the 3 things it could be.
I'm not a fucking stupid person, but science just blows my brains out my butt.
It's
gonna decrease.
Yeah.
So why is it times?
Well, if we rearrange the equation, you know how to do algebra, right? What does the equal symbol literally means? Each side.
Fucking equals symbol is.
The equal symbol.
Don't even explain what I know what an equal symbol means.
No, can you let me finish, please?
No, because you've been rude.
No, I'm not. So the equals, because most of the time, if you haven't done a lot of algebra, equals
I don't
kind
think we do
of.
algebra in this country. It's more of an American thing.
No, it's not. Equals basically, unless you do a lot of algebra, the equals sign basically means and therefore. So like you do 4 plus 4 is therefore 8 and something. Whereas when you're doing algebra, the equal sign literally means this side is equal to that side.
But that's the same in a maths thing, because 2 and 2 is equal to 4.
Yes, I know. It's the same symbol. It means the same thing. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to explain how you use it
I
differently.
was
Stop
explaining
being
it
a
back.
gobby little upstart.
Well, don't tell me what equal signs means then. I know.
So, if we wanted to get current on its own, because we know that that is the variable in this situation,
Yeah.
what would we have to do?
cross out the other words.
No, we have to do the same to both sides because both sides are equal. So what would we have to do?
Divide the voltage by the resistance.
Divide both sides by the resistance.
Yeah, I did that.
Well, you didn't say it, and you asked me to stop telling you what an equal sign was, so...
Ron, I've had enough of your attitude. I can't learn from someone that's rude.
You have been. It's not like
Actually, I think you'll find I haven't learned anything yet. So...
But it's not like I've been particularly pleasant up until now.
And nothing has gone in. So maybe change your tune.
So how would we work out the current?
We know the current.
How do we know the current?
It's probably written on the plug.
No!
I bet it is.
No!
What do we know?
The current is the voltage divided by the resistance.
Yeah, well, then I said this. Divide the voltage by the resistance.
Yeah.
Equals the current.
Yeah.
I said that, and you said divide both sides by the resistance.
Yes, because you didn't say that. We were still working
But if
it
we
out.
don't know what the current is, how the hell are we supposed to revise
Because
it
it's
by the
algebra.
resistance?
So because it says current times resistance. So if you divide that by resistance, you just get the current.
You are talking absolute shite today.
Oh, I know what an equal sign is. I'm Albert Einstein.
Do you want to do this podcast on your own, mate? Because sitting in a fucking attic, boiling my tits off, trying to learn stuff that makes no sense, isn't even actual things, and is written down on the box of anything I buy anyway, so what's the point?
Look, doesn't matter. We just have to get through it.
Well, I'm not the one holding us up. It's you.
How are we doing for time?
It's been 45 minutes.
Should we get into resistors or should we leave that for next time?
Let's do resistors, because I might need to cut that bit about the pervert because they don't like angering people online.
Okay. Welcome back after the music. A common part of circuits, Laura, are resistors.
Yep. Bzzz. Ding, ding, ding.
Can you think what a resistor would be used for in a circuit?
Resisting.
To what end?
Either end. Depends which way the current's going.
Fuck you.
If you needed to slow down the current.
Yes, to affect the current because the voltage is
240.
constant.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not always 240, because if it was always 240, we'd just call it 240. We wouldn't call it the voltage. No, we don't go to 238, 239, voltage 241. It's not how things go.
I'm going to from now on. I'm never saying the number voltage ever again. I'm always just going to replace it with voltage.
Right, so we're going to learn a little bit about resistors, and we're going to breeze through this because...
We're going to meet no resistance on the way.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. He's making eyes at me and I don't mind.
Okay, right, can you go into WhatsApp Web? We're going to have a look.
Do what?
Go into WhatsApp Web.
What's WhatsApp Web? WhatsApp Web?
WhatsApp. On your computer.
Oh, what are you talking about WhatsApp Web?
That's just what it's called.
Don't be daft. Nobody's ever called it that ever in their life.
I do. Every time
I've messaged you on WhatsApp Web, actually. Excuse me. I've sent you a WhatsApp Web message, and you've not replied.
I don't think that's weird.
WhatsApp Web?
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing anyone's ever said. WhatsApp Web. Nobody. I'm in WhatsApp Web now, Ross. I'm ready to talk to you on the WhatsApp Web messaging service.
Goodness me. Can you... So there are different types of resistors, right? Don't message people on the WhatsApp Web. while we're doing a podcast.
I'm on the worldwide WhatsApp web, just sending you some messages.
Right, can you get up figure A?
What are you talking about?
When I sent you all of these. I sent you figure A, figure B, and figure C.
Oh. Hang on, I've got so much stuff in my WhatsApp web browser.
Just search for it.
Figure
please.
A.
You got it?
Figure A, figure A, figure A, figure A. Pretty sure I do that joke every time.
No, we usually talk about figure B.
Figure B. Oh, yeah, figure B. Coming up in this lot. I won't do it again.
Yes, so we have different types of resistors that we can use, okay? So this first one, figure A, is an ohmic conductor at a constant temperature.
Jesus Christ.
So basically what that means is that the current that goes through it is directly proportional to the potential difference, or the voltage, applied across the resistor, okay?
Ron, no, that doesn't mean anything. That's just words. So for the listener, I'm looking at figure A, and it's an X and a Y axis, an uppy, downy, and an acrosser. And the acrosser
Do you know which is which?
Yep. The acrosser says
Which one's
potential
which?
difference. X is across.
X is across.
The X-axis says potential difference, and the up axis...
Why?
Y, because it is, says current.
The y-axis.
Just because that's what they call it. And then the... why'd they never use Z? It annoys me that they never use Z.
They do use Z.
What's the Z-axis?
Depth. In 3D.
No, 3D doesn't exist on paper. So then we've got... Then
Like fire and glass.
there's one line going between these axes, which goes from bottom left to top right, purposefully, like, completely perfectly, like, schlumpfing them down the middle.
At a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that means whatever it was Ron said just now about ohmic not being any temperatures.
Well, no, as you can see, the higher the potential, the higher the current. In a straight,
I
directly...
thought that was true anyway, because there's a slide. If it's a if it's a high slide, the current's going to go faster.
Yep, but it not necessarily, like, you know, it's not necessarily that if you doubled the height of the slide, you'd go twice as fast.
Yeah, you would.
Well, you would in this scenario, because that's kind of what it's illustrating to you. But that's not necessarily the case for all types of resistors.
What's the resistor got to do with anything?
Well, this graph. This graph is demonstrating how...
Fucking nothing. It's demonstrating absolutely nothing, mate.
It's demonstrating how the resistor reacts at different voltages, basically.
This bullshit is even worse when even you don't believe it's true.
Oh, I believe it's true. I just think it's boring.
It is boring.
So
is that line in the middle, the diagonal line, that's the resistor, is it?
No, this is demonstrating how the resistor would affect the current at different voltages.
It doesn't look like the resistor's doing anything.
Well, it is. It's affecting it, but it's affecting it at a directly proportional rate. It's constant at a constant rate. If you wanted to get the resistance out of this graph, you would need the gradient or the slope of the line.
Oh, I really understand. Let's move on.
So, yeah, I think it will make more sense when we look at figure B.
Figure B, figure B, figure B, figure B.
So, could you take a look at figure B and describe it for the listener?
Figure B has the same X and Y axes, but this time our little line that's cutting them off looks like an italic F. So it's like... it's a steeper line closer to the to the y-axis, and then it like flattens out at the top and the bottom.
Yeah, so what do you think that is telling us about how these this is the resistance of components such as lamps, diodes, thermistors, and LDRs, which change the current depending on how much voltage they have going across them.
240.
No, because the voltage can be different.
No, you said it can't.
Yes, but so if you plugged something in at the UK, it's going to be 240. If you plugged it in somewhere else, it's going to be different, right?
So this resistor stops the current bottoming out or OTTing.
Yeah, so at a certain point, you get to the point where no matter how much more voltage you're putting in there, the current is not increasing.
Yeah, because it's flattening on the top. The resistor's like, nom, nom, nom. Oh,
Yeah.
Keep giving me voltage. I'm just putting it in my pants. You can keep increasing. I don't care. And then when it gets down low, it's like, oh, you're being real stingy with the volts there. But don't worry, I'm supplying. Pew, pew,
Well,
pew.
that's not low there, that's negative. So essentially backwards.
You can't do negative voltage.
You could, if you put the battery in the other way around.
Ah, shut up. I don't want to learn that bit.
Okay. Reasons why resistors might act like this is that the temperature of the wire actually affects its resistance. So the hotter it gets, the more resistance there is. So for things like lamps, literally meaning like filament bulbs and stuff like that, they get very, very hot, and that increases the resistance. So then the more voltage you apply across them, they're just going to get hotter, and the current is not necessarily going to go up.
Feels like heat wouldn't increase the resistance. It feels like if the electrons were hot, then they'd move faster.
But alas, it's not the case.
Did you say alas?
Alas, yeah.
Is that how you say alas?
Yeah, I've only ever seen it written before.
Yeah, that's not right, mate. Alas.
Alice.
Also, don't try out words for the first time on the podcast. There's enough new words here without you just saying other things weird.
Okay, and then finally for the figures.
Yeah, let's say finally.
Finally for the figures, let's take a look at Figure C.
Figure C. Oh, this one's mad. Okay, so this one, same X and Y. X is potential, Y is current. Now, this one is like lying along the X-axis, all through the negative area, just lying along it. It gets halfway through the positive area and then ba-doing! Like morning wood, it springs into action.
What do you think this one's telling us, Laura?
That it only starts resisting when the voltage hits a certain place.
Almost the opposite. You see that there's no current up until a certain point, and then there is some current.
I thought the line was the resistance.
No, the gradient of the line is the resistance.
Hang on.
The on the y-axis it's on the y-axis is current. So if the line is going along at 0 on the y-axis, there's no current.
Yeah. So it resists.
There's someone
it
in
all.
a garden near you make a funny noise.
Yeah. I don't live in a nice area. So full of pigeons and my horrible dog. So there's no current because it's having a lie down, and then it whizzes up. So that means it's reached a point where there's so much voltage and the resistor can't block it all, so it gets through.
So this is.
It looks like the current there is increasing at a higher rate than the potential difference is going up.
Could be, but that doesn't really matter because there's no numbers on the axes. So these are just kind of interpretations. The specific numbers and steepness and stuff doesn't actually matter.
Right.
It's more about the change in it. So this is showing us the resistance of a diode, which lets it only flow in one direction. Because you see, anywhere where it's
They've split up now.
Yeah, let's pause for that. Anywhere that there's a negative potential difference, there is no current. Okay?
There isn't anything negative. Oh, no, wait a minute, because it's negative on that side of
It's negative
the
on the
y-axis
left,
too.
yeah.
Everything's negative. Okay.
Okay, cool, right. Okay, the resistance of a thermistor decreases as the temperature increases.
What?
Okay?
The mister?
A thermistor.
What's that?
Applications of thermistors in circuits, e.g. a
Don't say
thermostat.
more things. What's a thermistor?
It's something where the temperature increases.
Lobster thermistor.
It's as the resistance of a thermistor decreases as the temperature increases.
I don't know what a thermistor is, Ron.
That's what a thermistor is.
What do you mean that's what a thermistor is?
It's something where the resistance decreases.
The wind. Did you hear the wind?
Yeah.
It came in the window and frightened me.
Do you get that?
No, Ron. At first I was confused and then I was frightened. And now I'm not frightened anymore because I've realised it was just the wind, but I am still confused. What are you talking about? A thermistor.
A thermistor is something where the resistance decreases as the temperature increases.
I feel like I should be commentating
What's-
on golf. Or
What's
something.
happening?
Some wind is coming in. Say it again.
A thermistor.
Every time we talk about thermistors, the wind blows. I don't think the gods want us to talk about thermistors. This is a sign, Ron.
It's something where
What do you mean something?
It's anything. It doesn't matter. It's something where the resistance decreases as the temperature increases.
Yeah, that makes sense. It gets to
Yeah.
summer and you just get more relaxed.
The applications of thermistors in circuits include thermostats.
Brilliant.
The resistance of an LDR decreases as light intensity increases.
I don't even... You've said LDR about 4 times now. I don't know what it means. Like the
That's what it
DLR?
means. That's what it means.
What do you mean that's what it means?
I don't know. That's the definition of it. That's what I just said.
What did
It's
you
like
say?
the resistance of it decreases as light intensity increases.
Oh, this is stupid.
But it's like me going, a dog is something with 4 legs that's furry and a canine, and you go, yeah, but what's a dog? What's that? That's what it is.
No, it isn't, Ron. Why is one called a thermistor and one called an LDR? LDR must
Well, it
stand
probably
for something.
stands for light dependent resistor, I should think.
So so thermistors work in the summer. What was an LDR? When the light turns on.
They work in the bright,
Light, bright.
also
Ron.
known as a photoresistor.
No, let's just stop now because
Light dependent resistor. Oh yeah.
Ron.
You don't want to have to come back to this though in 3 weeks, do you?
No, I don't want to
So
do it
let's-
now though either. And 3 weeks at least isn't now.
Let's shimmy through it.
Ugh.
We've got so much circuitry to do. Next, we're doing series and parallel circuits. Right. Students should be able to.
I hate it when you start saying stuff like that.
What?
Candidates must be able to recognise.
Explain the difference and use of a circuit to measure the resistance of a component by measuring the current through and potential difference across the component.
Yeah, I can do that.
Students should be able to draw an appropriate circuit diagram
I'm
using
drawing now.
correct circuit symbols.
No, you haven't
Which-
taught me that yet.
No, hands in the air, we skipped it. Just fucked it off. Students should be able to use graphs to explore whether circuit elements are linear or non-linear and relate the curves produced to their functions and properties.
Nope.
And that's it. That's resistors. That's it.
The whole episode?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, I don't think I can do any of those things that you listed at the end, but
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
yeah, I don't want to be an electrician, so I'm just going to phone in the physics bullshit.
Oh, we've got so much left of it.
It'll be okay, Ron.
It'll be okay. Actually, we don't have that much left of it. Then we get on to, what are we doing after this? Ooh, density of materials.
His dense materials.
Ooh, internal energy and energy transfers.
Like tattoo transfers.
Ooh, particle model and pressure. And then we get back onto atoms and isotopes. We've done atoms. Forever we've done atoms. We've done them so much.
I thought atoms was chemistry.
Oh, yeah, then we're doing the physics of atoms, apparently. Well, that's, that's several months off, though. Let's not worry about it. Resistors. Doesn't matter. What? Get out of there! That roof's about to come down.
It does sound terrifying, doesn't it? Okay, Ron. Well, listen, I'll see you in a week for probably the quiz that I've had the least hope for so far. Because unless the question is, what's a slide? I don't think I'm going to know the answers. But we'll see you after some brief music, listener. Hello, Ron.
Hello.
Well, that was very Tim and Tom.
Yeah, Very Books, the podcast.
I was just on Pod Bible and they asked me what my favourite comedy podcast was, and I said, it's The Complete Guide, everybody. It's The Complete Guide.
Big fat podcast recommend from the Lex Education crew.
Join a union, listen to The Complete Guide to Everything.
Yeah, especially now, join a union. Although not by the time this goes out. It's very union-y at the moment.
I can't imagine it's been fixed in the 2 months between recording this and putting it out.
Do you mean silencing our right to protest in the UK isn't going to accelerate change?
I don't know what you're moaning about. You fled to the EU. You've still got human rights and stuff.
No, because I can't vote here.
Oh. Maybe you should work on becoming a Brazilian.
A Brazilian?
No, a Brazilian.
No.
Belgian. I should have just said Belgian.
Yes.
Anyway, we're prevaricating because in the real world time, even though it's only been a sting for you, it's been weeks for us, hasn't it? 2 weeks?
Has it?
Did we do last week? I don't think we did last week.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Oh my God, has it only been a week?
Yeah.
Shit.
Sad times in Lex Education HQ. We were supposed to be at Glastonbury together at the weekend, and then
Fuck,
after
it was
2
last week.
years-
We only did a week, Ron.
Yeah.
It feels like a month. I was like, it's been like 4 weeks, so it's fine. Shit, that was
No.
7 days ago.
No, yeah. 8 days ago, I think we did record on Tuesday last week.
Oh, bollocks. Yeah, we didn't get to go to Glastonbury together at the weekend because
Yeah.
stupid Ron got stupid COVID.
Yeah, after 2 years of not getting COVID, I got it the day before Glastonbury.
I went alone. I had a medium time.
Laura does not like live music.
Or taking drugs. And so it makes it very hard to know what to do at a festival if you don't want to do either of those things. Let me tell you, I watched a lot of circus performers.
Don't worry, Laura. We'll watch some live music and take some drugs next year. It'll be fine.
I probably won't take drugs, but I will watch more live music.
No, neither will I. It will be fine. This is a family podcast.
Quiz of episode 15.
Quiz,
Physics.
yes.
We did physics, did we? Oh, fuck, electricity.
Yeah, I've kept it brief because I didn't want to talk about it that much. Are you ready for the quiz?
Let's do it, Ron.
Okay. So there are only 4 points on offer today from 4
Okay.
questions. Question 1. Electricity is the flow of electrons. In a circuit powered by a battery, where do those electrons come from?
They're already there in the metal.
Yes, they're already there in the wire.
Yes.
Absolutely. Ready for question 2?
Yeah.
What is potential difference measured in?
Oh, this was the slide, wasn't it? What have I drawn? Oh, God, look at these notes. Every time I come back to my notes, I feel like a child took over my body for an hour. Battery as a pump. Bollocks. I've just written that for half a page, and that was question 1 of 4. Thermistors. Potential difference. God, I haven't even written those words down. Was that something we talked about?
Quite a lot, yeah. You'll kick yourself when you hear it.
Is it? Oh, hang on. I've drawn an arrow down. Current equals how much charge divided by the time it took. That's not helpful. Voltage equals current times resistance. That's. But volts is a thing. Volts?
It is volts.
Yay!
Well done, well done.
Yes! I'm 2 for 2.
You are. Let's see if you're 3 for 3. What's the formula for calculating current?
Oh. It's charge divided by time.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I guess there are 2. Because you can also...
Wait a minute. I've got voltage equals current times resistance.
Yeah, you can rearrange that formula
So current equals voltage divided by resistance?
Yeah, I'll give you 2 marks for that. Turns out the quiz is out of 5.
Oh, 3 plus 1. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then for the final mark of the quiz, what does a diode resistor do?
Resists diodes.
Is that your final answer?
Resistance was something to do with, like, calming down the electrons. It's like a little bit that you put in the circuit and it goes, guys, chill your beans.
Yeah.
And it slows them down a bit.
Clues,
I don't know what the word
clues in the name, yeah. So what makes it diode resistor different? You can refer back to figure C if you want. That was a diode resistor.
Oh, if you think I kept hold of those photos, you are wrong.
On WhatsApp web.
So let me get up the WhatsApp web. Let me scroll through all this nonsense you've been sending me since the heady days of 9 days ago. Oh, we talk a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, there's a picture of Pyramid Stage. That's Greta Thunberg. That's your COVID test. Figure C. What did you ask? What was the question?
What's a diode resistor?
No, Ron, I don't know. Figure C is just a photo of a line having a lie down and then getting very uppity towards the end. I cannot remember at all what that means. So, but I've already got 4 points and the quiz was out of 4, so I don't need that last one.
Sure. So a diode resistor only has lets the current only go one way.
Good for them. Ron, what a week for this episode to go out with us giving old Tim and Tom of Complete Guide to Everything fame a little shout out, because huge news, listeners. Since recording that episode and saying in Pod Bible how much I loved Complete Guide to Everything, I met Tim and Tom.
And Ron is bereft.
You were invited. You chose not to come.
I was busy.
You're never that busy.
I am always busy.
Why couldn't you come?
Because we had 3 people staying at the house.
Were they me, Tim and Tom?
No.
Well, then fuck them. Fuck them in their big faces, because... Right, so I gave Tim and Tom... If you don't listen to The Complete Guide to Everything, this won't mean
Nobody
much, but...
listens. They don't. This isn't content for anyone but us.
Ron, it was the greatest moment of my life.
Well, you at least need to give more explanation than just saying Tim and Tom.
I said from Complete Guide to Everything.
All right, carry on.
You are being a real churlish little Charlie today.
Yeah.
Why are you grumpy? Have you not had lunch?
I've had a protein shake.
Boo. Go and get some more of your nuts. So I said how much I loved Complete Guide to Everything on the Pod Bible, and then Tim from Complete Guide reached out and said thank you. And then they were coming to the London Podcast Festival, and I couldn't go and see the show because I was doing John Holmes's The One Show at the same time. But then we happened to share a green room with Tim and Tom, and I had this real surreal moment of like sitting in a green room, and then they were talking behind me, and I was like, oh God, there's those voices that I've listened to for like 6-7 years. They're just in the same room. And then I managed not to tell them that I have fallen asleep listening to them talk every night for the last 6 years.
Nice.
Stop playing it cool. You'd have been just as weird. Anyway.
Yes, but I wasn't there. I'd have been weirder, I think.
Yeah, you are weird. So, also, huge news for this podcast. There's been a lot of merch chat over the last couple of weeks. We have finally nailed down what we're doing. Now, at the moment, we think T-shirts are a little bit out of our reach, just because of the economies of scale and trying to order them in the right sizes for everybody and trying to, like, not bankrupt ourselves in ordering. They are on the list, but we're not there at the moment. We are ordering 3 different hats. Hurrah! Woo-hoo. We're ordering 2 different baseball caps. There is a black baseball cap with a white front and red lettering that says "Don't just say stuff." There's a black baseball cap that just says "Down" and then has the little cartoon image of me and Ron either side of that. And there is a black bobble hat with a red bobble that says "Class Dismissed" on it.
Yeah, any purchases of the Class Dismissed one is an implicit vote for Team Ron. Any purchases of the Down hat is an implicit vote for Laura.
Well, then I'm going to take the image of you off it.
No.
No, they're all great. No, because that's not fair, because my favourite one is the bobble hat one, because I'm not really a baseball cap wearer.
Yeah, but you're Team Ron.
Yeah, that's true. I hate myself. So we're going to do a very limited run of each of them. I think they're all going to just be a flat £15 each, which we hope is affordable.
Plus P&P.
Plus P&P. Thank you, Ron. Obviously, if you're really struggling financially and you desperately want one, let us know. We'll see what we can do. They will be available through my coffee page, ko-fi. They're not up for pre-order at the moment, but if you follow me on Coffee, then you can set it to get a notification when I add things to the shop. It is a very limited order just because obviously we've got a vague idea of how many of you want them, but we can't go crazy and order loads and loads.
But slam it in quick, because when we say limited, we mean limited.
We do. But, you know, if there's crazy demand, we will order more. Yeah. So don't feel like this is your last ever chance to get a cute little hat. But they should be on sale in the next couple of weeks. So how exciting. Hats.
Yep, and watch this space, because this is not the only exciting change that is coming in, the next 4-6 weeks?
Yeah. We'll probably announce,
there'll be announcements. There'll be announcements in the next 2 weeks, and then those announcements will follow with more announcements.
Ooh, announcements!
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Thanks for listening. As ever, keep in touch. We're at Lex Education on all socials. We're lexeducation@gmail.com if you want us for anything that doesn't go on socials. And we love you. We love science.
We've still never had an email.
What do you want people to say to you?
I don't know.
You just said you're so busy you can't even come and see me and Tim and Tom. So...
just a nice email.
I'll email you.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I interrupted you. Carry on.
No, I was waiting for you to say Class Dismissed. We can't put it on a hat and then have you shirk saying it.
Oh, I didn't realise you were done.
I just thought that was a nice end to the podcast.
It's not anymore. Class dismissed.
I just didn't ruin everything.